Oh my god, this Let's Play is alive! We're back in Lemmings 2 land! But then again, it's also really hard and really costly to organize a journey into space, so yeah, that's why it kinda got delayed for a while. But we're finally back and it is time to tackle on the space tribe. But yeah, I'm really thirsty, so I think it's time that we
hit the space bar!
Also, it might be worth saying that my first exposure to this game was the SNES version of this game, and boy, the music in that version of the game was a whole lot more different. It definitely was a little bit more somber and atmospheric. This one is so cheerful and happy in comparison, which is kind of a contrast considering that we're just in a land where Super Lemming has kind of forgotten how to fly. So anyway, you might remember that I was pretty down on the Polar Tribe. Well, at the very least, the Space Tribe is a good return to form. Also, I did absolutely not need to do this again, but at this point I could just not resist. Super Lemming is just too fun. And I might as well showcase the other thing that is on with Super Lemming, which is that as soon as the Super Lemming hits the cursor, he's just going to do this little fly back up and then he will slowly drift down to the ground. But yeah, it's your typical first level of a tribe, it's really easy, there's a whole lot of possible solutions. You can use like a platformer in order to bridge over the gap where all of your lemmings get trapped, and then you use a mortar in order to free everybody. It's like the mortar that frees all of your lemmings is pretty much the only consistent part of this level. Also, I kinda like, well, I'm not really sure that liking is a good word because whenever you save your lemming, it just seems like that they're just being sucked out into space and will helplessly drift off with no aim and nowhere to go. So, I don't know, it's kind of sinister. But yeah, the Space Tribe definitely gets a whole lot harder really quick. We're only in level 2 and we're already breaking out the big guns because this is definitely not your average typical level. It also showcases one of the skills that we haven't really had the opportunity to showcase so much yet, the Magno Booter. This gives your lemmings the ability to walk on literally any surface out there, no matter what the angles are or anything else. So yeah, this lemming over here is going to go on a big journey. This level was called Perpetual Motion, and that's pretty much what is being hinted at by the level title here. That's what you're gonna have to do in order to win this level. I know there's another solution in order to pull this off, and I think you can do so without any casualties whatsoever, but that's the only way I'm really comfortable about doing it, so that's why I'm usually doing it this way. What you want to do is to get one lemming to land onto the platform below while walking to the left. But yeah, that involves using the Magno Booter in order for him to circle all around the little orbit that we have over here, and then you send another Magno Booter all the way toward the right in order for him to blow up a hole so that the Magno Booter that was circling around the entire structure over here will be headed to the left. But you definitely need to send that Magno Booter much further ahead, much quicker, because otherwise you're definitely not going to get there in time. Earlier I sent my other Magno Booter way too late, so this is why I ended up failing. But yeah, as soon as you get one lemming down here, it's time to build a bridge that is going to rescue everybody. And as soon as the bridge is over, it's time to fill it up and get all of our lemmings home. Sometimes your lemmings are just going to spread over all the way over here, but that's okay, you have 5 fillers for a reason, so it's not really a big deal. But yeah, for level 2 of the tribe, this is surprisingly complicated. And even then, we had kind of a tight time limit as well. I mean, we had a tight limit in level 1 too, but to be fair, level 1 was still really easy. And level 2 was absolutely not easy. And that's pretty much going to set the tone for the Space Tribe. I'd say it's probably one of the most overall challenging tribes in the game. There's not a whole lot of things which are self-explanatory about this tribe. Almost every level in this tribe will have some sort of catch that is just going to take you off by surprise and will make the level a whole lot harder than it probably will seem like it is at first glance. For this opening section, your lemming needs to be the combo of being a runner, a rock climber, and a slider. If you don't assign the slider, your lemming is gonna die whenever he's gonna fall that one pit earlier, and you also need to jump across every pit, because if your lemming falls down all of these holes over there, he's not going to be able to climb back out because of the way that the rocks are just shaped. And finally, if your lemming doesn't run, he's not going to make it to the walls in order to climb, and he's probably gonna kill himself with the landing that he has to do. Now that our lead lemming is almost out of the way and everything, now it's time to start planning in order to get everybody to the exit. So it's time to stomp all the way down here. Do not do this too early in the level, because if you do so too early, then your lemmings are going to kill themselves falling all the way down the shaft that you've just created. In order to get our lemmings out of here, we're gonna have to use fencers as well as stomper. That's why we need that one lemming in order to circle around the entire level, because due to the way that the fencer just bashes in a slightly upward angle, you're not going to be able to make it all the way to the end of this tunnel if you just start fencing and digging all the way over here. Maybe you can do it if you also combine the other stomper and everything in order to dig down and then bash some more. But if you do it from that side of the level, it's very risky. You run the high risk of, well, not assigning the fencer to the lemming that is going to stomp, and this way you're probably gonna fail the level. By sending that one Trailblazer lemming, you remove pretty much any possibility of the level just misbehaving in almost any possible way. And now it's time for the Vortex. This level looks very intimidating with its whole spiral-like structure over here, but I think in almost all of the tribe, this is probably the first thing that is pretty much a gimme level. While most of the other levels of this tribe have done a pretty good job of offering some kind of challenge, I'd say this level is one of the first in the lot where you have a lot of possible ways in order to solve a level. And it usually involves, not following the intended path, because you don't have enough climbing tools in order to spiral up and down without any kind of impunity whatsoever. So we better start shortcutting our way to the end of the level right now. If you want to be left in peace, it's usually easier to just do this with only one lemming, because then if you have a whole lot of lemmings, you kind of just end up wasting your skills, and you usually just end up wasting the whole level away. Yep, just like that. This time, we probably should just use the attractor. If anything, I think this is the only level of this tribe that uses the attractor, so we might as well just play it. Also, how adorable. They're actually doing the robot. It's just, okay, I think this is probably the best attractor of the entire game. I don't care what anybody says, this is definitely in my palmarès of the top attractor tunes of the century. So now, it's all about making our way to the exit. You can either use a club basher in order to destroy the base of these pyramids and everything, but I think in overall, the best way in order to make it so that you could save skills and everything would be to just use a mortar at the top of the triangle structures in order to destroy the weight forward, but yeah, might as well just use all of our club bashers, and then we're gonna proceed with the one-ton destruction. As far as I know, the vehicle down here is just part of the scenery. It is not like an object that's in the way or anything, so yep. Once that you get past all of these columns over here, this is your cue in order to finally leave the level. So there we go, that was the first easy level of this tribe, bearing level 1, which usually always is easy. It's usually always just there in order to ease you in on the tribe, but yeah, that was the first level of the tribe, which I call truly easy. And now we're back to the regular programming, and boy, yeah, this level is definitely going to give you a fear of the heights. There's almost nothing to destroy in this whole level because, as the title says, it's almost nothing but steel all around here, so it's all about the bridges that you're going to build along the way. Also, I kind of like that one arrow that just kind of points toward the evil alien base. I don't know, anything that looks ominous in the Space Tribe just kind of looks really goofy, considering that we have the happy space music going on in the background. And that lemming is totally dead. So let's redo things in order to try and save that lemming. By the way, you do have to save that lemming, because otherwise it's going to be nothing but a sparkling performance. That is how you save a lemming. You just waste a balloon and then crash the balloon straight into the wall in order to save your lemming from actually going deep into the upper confines of space itself. So her lemming down here will be the one that will be in charge of actually building the way forward for everybody. We're going to set up a whole lot of ropes in order to make it so that our lemmings are going to be able to successfully touch down, and whenever you assign the balloon's kill, make sure that your lemming is actually walking to the left, because otherwise he's gonna immediately walk off the ledge and you will have lost your cue in order to do anything. We have to set up a rope for every single one of these little portions of the level here, yep. Here I am just disobeying my own advice. But that's okay, because in the end we did prevail. Also, every time that I use a bomber here, I kinda get a shiver, because I always think, oh my god, my lemmings are just gonna fly out of their box and they're gonna die. It's usually for the best that you just leave, well, you know, horizontal ropes, because that will prevent any chance of just doing something really stupid with your rope, and that will make it so that your lemmings might just end up dying upon going from one level to the other. But apart from that, yeah, as soon as you get past the rather tricky opening to this level, the rest, however, goes down pretty smoothly. We can build the stainless steam limb. We have the technology. But we don't have the money, so we're just going to make it walk forward, and that'll be all that's gonna be happening. So that'll be it for part 1 of Space. Come back in order to see the Lunar Olympics.